Hello and welcome to Whale Eating Krill. That's right, you gotta love it. Hey, look at this sucker. This is like one of the hugest creatures on Earth, and it eats this tiny, tiny little krill here. So it has to eat a whole bunch of it, right? Anyway, hey, this is an on your own problem, so you should have solved the entire problem. You should have your paper in front of you, and now you're ready to watch this video and see how you did. So here is your scenario. This whale is huge, but it eats this tiny, tiny, tiny little krill. In order to survive, a whale like this must eat 40 million krill per day. Now, that's 8,016 pounds. Let's go ahead and write that down. I got 8,016 pounds of krill every single day. That's a lot of krill. You think you might get sick of eating the same thing every day, but guess what? This whale here, he says, no, I still love it. Anyway, now, your challenge is to figure out about how many pounds of krill does a whale eat each hour. Well, if it's done this much, 8,016 pounds per day, and we all know that there are 24 hours in a day, that means we are solving 8,016 divided by 24. So as you see, I have my 2's written down here and my 4's written down here. Now because I want to estimate high, I also wrote my 3's right up here. So let's go ahead and get started with the problem at hand. So the first thing I want to do is create my area box, and I'll put that right there. And then I'm going to plug the 8,016 right inside the area box. And I'll put my divisor, 24, on the outside of the area box. So now I'm trying to figure out how many times 24 can go into 8,016. And 24 can certainly fit into the 80 here. So I'm going to put a 0 above the 10's column and the 1's column just to hold that place value. And when I put those there, that really means I'm multiplying these two zeros by 24, which will give me these two zeros right here. So now I need to figure out how many times 24 will go into 80. And I'm going to use the 3's because I'm going to estimate to 30, right? I'm going to estimate and bump this 24 up to 30. So now since this 3 has a 0 behind it, all these digits will have a 0 behind it as well. And I'm looking for one that gets me close to but not over 80. So I've got 30, 60, 90 is going to be too much, right? So I'm going to come back here, and that means I'm multiplying by 1, 2. So I'll plug a 2 right here. And as you can see, that really means I'm multiplying by 200 because I got these two zeros here as well, right? So now I'm working with the real numbers, and I simply take 2 times 4, and I can come here and go 1, 2. That's going to give me 8 here. So I'll drop an 8 right there. And then I'm multiplying 2 times 2, which comes up here, 1, 2, gives me 4. So I'll plug a 4 right there. And now I'm ready to subtract. However, before I do, I always like to look for any trouble coming. And lo and behold, I got no trouble here, but bam, I got a little bit of trouble here because I cannot have nothing and take 8 away from it, right? So I'm going to borrow from this 8 and turn that 8 into a 7. Turn this 0 into 10, and now I am good to go. So I'm going to add another area box, and I'll plug her in right there. And 6 minus 0 will give me 6. And 1 minus nothing will give me 1. And now I've got 10 minus 8, which will give me a 2 right here. And right here I've got 7 minus 4, which is going to give me a 3. And right here you can see that the 24 can still go into the 32. So I'm going to add another line and we'll add up. So these are going to be 2 zeros here. Before I do that, I want to give myself a little bit more room. So I'm going to move this over here, move this right here, and now I've got plenty of room up here. So Next thing I'm going to do is, since I'm still working with the 24 being able to go into the 32, I'm going to add another group of 2 zeros here. So I got a 0 here and a 0 here, and that's going to give me 2 zeros here, because these 2 zeros times 24 will give me these 2 zeros. And I know that 24 will go in there only one time, so I'm going to add another 1 right up here. And the reason I know that is if I use my estimation of 3, I got 3 and 6, and 6 is too much, or this would actually be 60, right, because I got a 0 here. So it's too much, so I'm going to put 1 in there, which means 1 times 24 will give me 24. And once again, it's really 100 you're multiplying it by. So 100 times 24 would give you 2400, right, or 2400. At any rate, let's go ahead and do our subtraction. And before we do, we got to check for trouble coming. I got no trouble here, no trouble here. Oh, I got a little bit of trouble, right? So I'm going to turn this into a 2 and turn this into 12, and now I am good to go. So let's go ahead and add our next area box. And I'll do that right there. And 6 minus nothing will give me 6 right here. And 1 minus 0 will give me 1 there. Here I've got 12 minus 4. And that's going to give me 8. So I'll plug an 8 right there. And then 2 minus 2 zeros out, so I don't have to worry about it. So now we're coming back up here. And we can see that 24 cannot fit into 8, but it can fit into 81. So I'm going to add a place value holder by putting a 0 up here. And then 0 times 24 will give me a 0 down here. And now it's clear to see that I'm working with the 81 right here. So what I can do is do the same thing I did before. I'm looking at the 30 to estimate, right? And so if each of these has a 0 behind it, I've got 30, 60, and 90 is going to be too much. So I'm going to put multiply by 1, 2. So I'm going to put a 2 right here, just like I did before. And I'm going to take a side note here and just show you that, hey, here I had 80, and it ended up being, I did the 2, and I had to add another 1. Here I have 81, so I'm going to estimate or guess that I'm actually going to have to add another group of 10 up here. But let's go ahead and just finish this the way we would with the estimation if we were estimating for 30, okay? So now I'm working with the real numbers, and I've got 2 times 4, which is going to give me 1, 2, gives me 8, right? So I'll drop an 8 right there. And then I've got 2 times 2, which is going to give me 1, well, you can barely see that. Let me move this. I got 1, 2, 2 times 2 is 4, so I'll drop a 4 right there. And now I'm ready to subtract, right? But before I do, like always, I got to look for trouble coming. I got no trouble here. I do have trouble coming here, so I'm going to trade this, turn that into a 7, take a group of 10, and turn that into 11. And now I am ready to go. So I will add my next area box and plug that in right there. 6 minus nothing will give me 6, and 11 minus 8 is going to give me 3 right here. And then I've got 7 minus 4, which is going to give me another 3 right here. And now you can see I am, just like I mentioned earlier, this 24 will fit one more time in here, won't it? So I'm going to have to hold the place value for that ones column and put a 0 there. And then 0 times 24 will give me a 0 here in the ones column. And then I'm going to just add a 1 right up here. And then 1 times 24 will give me 24 down here. So plug that 24 right there. And now I'm ready to subtract again. Once again, I always like to check for trouble coming. I got no trouble here. I do have trouble coming here. So I'm going to borrow from this hundreds place, turn that into a 2, and turn that 3 into 13. And now I am good to subtract. So I'm going to add yet another area box right here. And 6 minus 0 is going to give me 6. And 13 minus 4 is going to give me 9. Oops. 9 right like that. And now let's come back on up here and see where we're at with this. Now I want to get to 96, right? And 24 will fit into 96, so I am in this ones column. I'm going to use the 30 again. I've got 30, 60, and 90. This time it does work, right? Because 90 will fit in there, so I'm going to put a 3 right here. And let me just plug that in there. And then I've got 3 times 4, and I'm going to come here. 1, 2, 3. That's going to give me 12. I'm going to drop the 2 and carry the 1. So I'll drop the 2 right here. And then I'm going to carry a 1 right here. And then I've got 3 times 2, which is 1, 2, 3, which is 6. Plus the 1 is going to give me 7. And I'm going to drop the 7 right there. And now we're good to subtract. But before we do, we look for any trouble coming. And I've got no trouble here and no trouble here. So let's go ahead and add another box. And then I've got 6 minus 2 is going to give me 4. And 9 minus 7 is going to give me 2. And let's look up here. And actually, as you see, the 24 will fit in there exactly one more time. So let's come back up here. I'm going to add one more group of 1 here. And then 1, let's shrink it. 1 times 24 will give me 24 here. So I'm going to put 24. And that, my friends, is going to zero out. I can subtract and zero that out. So now we're almost done. All I got to do is add these up. So I'm going to move this stuff all out of the way here. And we're going to draw our line. And we're going to add up in this direction, right? So I've got all these zeros. 3 plus 1 is going to give me 4. And then I've got these 2 zeros, 2 and 1 is going to give me 3. And then I've got finally 2 plus 1 is going to give me another 3 right here. So the answer is 334. So let's come back to our scenario. You've got this huge whale. He looks teeny there, but now he's a little bigger. This huge whale eating these little teeny tiny krill, and he eats 8,016 every day, right? 8,016 pounds every day. And we want to know how many he eats every hour. There's 24 hours in a day, so that means I'm dividing 8,016 by 24, and that's going to give us the 334 pounds of krill every hour. Hey, that is how you solve this problem. If you made a mistake along the way, no worries at all, my friends. Simply pause the video, fix the mistake. That is your fastest way to learn. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon. And now, on to counting by the numbers. This is a great strategy for anybody who does not have all their multiplication facts memorized. Counting by threes. Ready? Here we go. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Counting by fours. Ready? And 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Counting by sixes. Here we go. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. Counting by sevens, here we go. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. And counting by eights, here we go. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. Counting by nines, here we go. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90.